Hey everyone, and welcome to What's Your Call Wednesday. Today we are going to look at a controversial sequence from this past Copa del Rey round with Real Madrid and Real Sociedad, and look at the specific challenge on Vinicius Jr. that seems to be dividing the internet. I want to use a new kind of updated consideration sheet as well. You've seen a different one posted on my Instagram, but this one I think you'll see is maybe a little bit more user friendly and maybe a little bit more clear. I guess it just depends on how you use it, right? So let's first watch the clip, and then I want to go into the considerations and how we kind of look at this and what I'm seeing. I'm happy to be completely and totally wrong if the way I'm reading this sequence is wrong. However, it's one of these moments where I think we all need to kind of learn how we look at sequences and how we look at things from an objective and factual sense. So first, let's watch the sequence, and I'm going to then go ahead and dive into the considerations, and we'll go from there. Let's go. All right, so first, back it up here and let's have a watch.
Den som vi ska få se här får det bekräftat. Och är Sabal. Oj! Sen tackling. Och det är klart det är gult kort. Han vill ju... Vinicius är fly för det bra. Och sen... Ja, en hög spark som träffar knät.
So just on the initial watch here, and we see a couple good angles of it here. I'll go ahead and pull this over now. When I go through and kind of use this, just so that you guys are aware and what my thinking is, right, is that the darker the color is a more, a consideration for a more positive affirmation for the severity of the fence. So the lighter the color, the lighter the severity, or it's a mitigation or something like that. If it's this kind of light in the middle blue color, we're dealing with something that's going to be kind of borderline. And then as it gets to a darker color, that's obviously a more serious kind of consequence for what is going on here. So now, first and foremost, is the challenger playing for the ball first? And the answer is quite clearly no. Contact with the bottom of the foot or the studs. While he does lead fully, the foot is flat and he's leading with it, he's actually in front, so there is no contact with that. So now we kind of have that mitigation of that piece, right? The challenger is initiating contact, of course. I'm going to say fully. This is not mutual contact. This is Vinicius trying to run by the offending player. And then the intensity of the challenge of the contact. This, to me, is actually low. Now, and I'll tell you why. Because literally, we can tell from this angle here, right? He is literally, it's going to be sort of that leg is going to be high, right? He's not ideally positioned to make this challenge look like a trip, but he is it's just sticking out the leg, and it's where he's making contact, right? So it's very low intensity, in my opinion. The point of the contact on the opponent is high. He's up on that lower thigh, knee area. Depending on the area, the angle, you can kind of see just how high he is. But the nature of the contact for me is a little deceptive, because is it a full contact? Yes, it is full contact, but I think this is probably one of those boxes that's going to get really tricky to navigate with, especially in this scenario, because the nature of the contact is more, studs on. Is it the studs kind of slightly hitting them? Are they glancing off, or is it kind of square, right? But the obvious nature of this contact is that it is full contact. Now, the challenge at the opponent, meaning are they moving in the direction at the opponent fully, or are they in front? Are they are they challenging fully in front? Is it kind of late? That kind of thing. I would say this is partially, meaning, he knows that he's going to get him. He knows that he's going to take him down. However, he's clearly going in front to trip or to attempt to trip in a more serious capacity here, in comparison to, say, like just going at the back heel or something of that nature. So, is the challenge at the opponent? I'm going to say partially, simply because he gets in front of him and we go from there. So I think the nature of the contact, I want to change this. I'm actually not, I think that throws, I think it throws the visual off, right? So we are dealing with a borderline serious offense here because of the point of contact, for sure. What's the leg position in the challenge? I don't think it's relevant. Is the challenge from behind? Obviously, I don't think that's relevant. Is it a challenge with a lunge or a jump element to it? I'm going to have to say that it is, simply because there is, he's far away. He's stretching, and that's turning it into a lunge, right? Was there an opportunity to play the ball? I'm going to say no, right? But again, is this something that is going to mitigate? Is it going to always indicate a more severe offense? Potentially. But in my opinion, this might throw things off a little bit as well. Contact being accidental, I don't think it's even relevant. I think we know that it's not. Result of the contact, is it? I'm going to say light. He pops right back up. He rolls around a little bit and then he pops right back up, and he's walking just fine. There's nothing there, right? Contact on the standing leg, I don't think is relevant because he's in stride. Contact to the head or neck, doesn't matter. Player continues in the sequence. Here we are, right? So I think there is a weird sort of, and this is actually a really good clip to kind of demonstrate that this is simply a guide, right? What do we see here that tells us it's a send-off? What do we see here that it's a send-off, right? It is how it's the fact that the ball is nowhere in play. We're miles away from it, and it's the height of the contact for me that is very heavy, is very high and potentially dangerous. Now, what is a mitigating factor for me is the way the contact is made. It's the calf to the top, to the knee, to the top of the leg, if you will, and that to me doesn't resemble endangering the safety of an opponent, but we're almost just like a really poorly executed trip in a lot of ways, right? And I think maybe the truest visual is here, right? He is quite in front of the player, and the leg is bent. It's clear that he's kind of using the calf and his own, his own like thigh almost to bring the player down. Now, is that going to be endangering the safety of an opponent? Is this going to tick all the boxes to go to a straight red, right? And again, if we're dealing with low intensity and we're dealing with the high contact, right? Do we have enough there to say that it's endangering the safety of the opponent? Using the considerations as a guide, yes, it's a lunge, but it's more of a lunge in front. He's got no chance at the ball. So really, these two kind of things are telling me that it's a tactical foul in nature, right? Low intensity. It's basically a sliding trip. Really, it basically is. But for a lot of reasons, because it's that slide, because that he's throwing that leg up high above the upper knee and everything, we have something completely different. is the manner of the challenge going to bring this into send-off territory? Or was this referee correct in looking at this as a reckless tackle? Honestly, I think that where you see the difference here is the nature of the contact and the intensity of it. There just something doesn't feel right to bring this up to a send-off, in my opinion. But again, I am happy to be wrong. We can use this all day long, depending on how we look at it, right? The leg position in the challenge, just so you know the options. Was he pulling out of it? Was it bent? Was it straight? I think it's more of a bent leg. So again, that's not really, it's going to be more of a borderline kind of situation. Is it from behind? No, it's not. It's from the side, right? Low intensity from the side. He slides in front. The contact is high. I will say that it's definitely not low. But again, just something feels weird about moving this up to a send-off to me. Guys, I'm kind of torn here. This sheet is great for helping you kind of distill down your thoughts, but again, where we're kind of looking at this, what mitigates more, right? Does the low intensity make up for the height of the challenge, right? We know that he's fully initiating that contact. We know we know all of these things, right? And as we see it, we see.
Den som vi ska få se här får det bekräftat. Och är Sabal. Oj! Sen tackling. Och det är klart det är gult kort. De vill ju... Vinicius är ju fly förbannad. Och sen...
Again, it's a tough one. I don't think there's enough to go to a send-off here. And as we see the contact, of course, the manager's only seeing this, right? That the flat foot has come across, right? But how is contact being made? How is it being generated? Is there a force in it? Are we dealing with brutality or anything like that? And I think that there's not enough of that kind of contact in order to justify it. But I want to know what you guys think. This is What's Your Call Wednesday after all. So let me know what you guys think of the sequence, how I'm breaking it down. Let me know what you guys think of the sheet as well, because I've spent a little bit of time kind of tweaking this from the one that you've been seeing online. And, again, it's just one of those moments where we get to look at this a little bit differently. We get to see sort of where we're thinking this all goes, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you have a send-off? Do you have a caution? There's plenty of room for subjectivity here, and I'm more than happy to have the debate and the discussion, because I'm kind of torn. I see it both ways. I really do. I think live on the field, though, I think I agree with the referee. I think this doesn't quite have it doesn't tick every box to go up to a send-off, in my opinion. But again, I'm not the end all be all. So let me know what you guys think, how you guys would see it, how you guys would handle this, kind of seeing that kind of a challenge like this on your field. Until then, I look forward to seeing you guys for your Infringement Friday. And for that one, there's going to be another one of these kind of really cool sequence reviews, so I hope you'll stick around and have a look at it. And I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. See you on Friday.